Made in the shade. Do do do. Do 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 do. That's it. We got it. Welcome. I'm Dean. That is Lachlan Cross from 95.7 Cruise FM in Edmonton. That is Greg Bond. I'm just going to call him Craig. From Bonzi Live, the podcast, or Tripping with Bonzi, the podcast, and you can get him at Bonzi Live on Twitter. And that is James P. White. James P. White. He is the co-host of The Locker Room, 95.7 Cruise FM.
He's the whole show.
957 is where you can find him. Hi, guys. How are we? How is everybody today? Everybody looks good. Everybody looks happy. Locke is in the middle of having a breast of chicken from Church's Chicken. So don't mind him if he eats. Jimmy is
a little bit behind today.
That's okay. Jimmy's half in the bag after work drinks. And Bonzi, who knows, right? Who knows from week to week.
But are you still microdosing?
Good you guys are here.
Yes. Excuse me. Yes, I am. I'm glad you asked. And I'm almost out. So I'm on the prowl in California for some new microdosing mushrooms.
Huh. What do you mean
that seems like something that would be easy to find in California.
Yeah.
So I've got
especially in a fucking trailer park.
Where everyone's hiding
it's
from the law.
It's an RV resort, sir. So I have 6 capsules left, which is 200 milligrams in each capsule. I split it and take 100 milligrams and just plus maybe 110. So yeah, we've only got till next week and then we'll be all out. So I got to find some Tootsie Sweet.
You should try and grow your own
mushrooms.
Well, I'm on the road living, so it's kind of tough.
Yeah. Just grow them in your shoes. Just shit in a bucket. Grow them out of the bucket.
That's the thing is like mushrooms require turds, right? Like you got to have shit to grow mushrooms, apparently. So, like I don't know, and I'm well aware of the mushroom movement, the psilocybin movement. I'm well aware of the reset. Emily's pointing out that you cannot grow capsules. Thank you, Emily. I do understand that, and I appreciate you letting other people know because they might not realize that mushrooms don't grow in capsules. But that's my theory with these is like, okay, well, listen, we're introducing a whole new set of like biological rules to grow. Like the cannabis is different. That just grows in the ground in a ditch. It's a fucking weed. But when it comes to mushrooms, you're like, I don't know, man, this grows in turds. I don't necessarily trust the illegal mushroom market. I know mushrooms are not legal right now. And then you're like, I wonder what these mushroom growers are, what kind of turds they're using. Like, are they going to get industrial turds to grow their mushrooms or what are they doing? So that's my problem with that because it's the same thing with cannabis where I was like, I'm not going to buy it for some dude off the truck. Same reason why I don't buy meat from guys who roll around in a meat truck going, hey, want to buy some meat? I'm like, fuck.
By the way,
meat off the truck.
If you're not like Dean and you are okay buying stolen meat, we have a guy. Just drop us a line. We can get you.
That's one of my first jobs I ever did when I got my driver's license. Sold meat out of a white van.
Meat. Are you serious?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah,
stolen?
Dude. There's like whole companies. No, there's like these whole companies have these catalogs of overpriced meat, and they show up to your door, and they go, "I got shrimp in the truck. I got this in the truck," and you're like, "I'm not buying seafood out of a truck."
I didn't last very long. I think I was there like 3 days, and I parked the truck in the parking lot and
Just
walked
split.
across the street and got on a bus and went home. And I was like, "Fuck this!" Yeah. I learned pretty quickly.
Shady.
Oh, dude, and the door-to-door meat guys are like the most fucking annoying salespeople in the world too. Like Once you buy something from my ex made the mistake of buying like a pack of sausages from him once. They'd phone you every week. They'd show up with a big smile. Hey, I'm just coming around with meat. I'm like, fuck, relax with the meat. We got a freezer full of meat. I don't need door-to-door meat anymore.
They got a thing in Alberta, and I don't know if this is across the country, but I didn't see it until I got here in Edmonton. Like the first week I got here, I was in a parking lot in a strip mall, and I'm walking up to my car, and a guy drives up in a van, and he goes, "Hey, you need speakers?" I'm like, "What? Do you need speakers?" And I'm like, "Are you fucking with me?" He goes, No, I got brand new car speakers back here, house speakers. What do you need? And I'm like, I don't need speakers. But there was some company that went tits up, and the guy, before he declared personal bankruptcy, took all his stock and hid it in some warehouse in Leduc, some fucking thing. And this is what I heard. And then he hired guys to go around the city and sell this shit at a discounted rate. And he was just making money off the back of going bankrupt.
Yeah, hot shit. They're just selling hot shit out of the back of a truck. Yeah.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, dude, it's the same. That's how these guys were selling meats. Food you eat.
Oh, for sure they're stealing it.
Like, oh, fuck, for 100%.
They're all drinking on the road, too. The guy that trained me, he had a fucking 12-pack beside him, and he's like, "You want one?" I'm like, "No, dude, I'm fucking 16. Like, no, I don't." Well, I did, but I didn't take it because he was a weirdo. Yeah, I didn't.
Well, you didn't know. To be fair, you didn't know you'd be a full-fledged alcoholic for at least another 25 years, too, right?
This is true. I'm glad I waited till I was like 18 to really start drinking.
Yeah, no kidding. Anyway, good to have everybody here. We got lots of stuff to get to today, including some crazy news about Alec Baldwin. We've got some anti-vax emails to get to. Yeah, it's really weird. We've got some Schadenfreude to get to as well today. So, but more importantly, James P. White is here. James is Lachlan's co-host at 95.7 Cruise FM. I think he's a wonderful young man. Yeah, let's give him a round of applause.
He's not. He's the show. The entire show is Jimmy. If we're being honest.
No, the entire show is you being an asshole towards me.
I tend to agree.
To be honest,
I was listening this morning, and you were rude to him again today. Listening to yesterday. Well, not rude, but you were like you're short with him. You don't have a lot of time with him. But here's the thing: is that we don't live with you, Jimmy.
He's annoying.
Yeah, so you may well deserve some of the treatment that you get. Correct?
Really? He gave 20 of our listeners my home address.
Jimmy is on fire. Like he's
how many people showed up?
There was a car that drove by and stopped
no harm, no foul.
And kept. You gave them my address. One of them, his name is Crazy Corey.
As he eats a piece of chicken from Church's.
Crazy Corey was going to bring you a date.
Fucks given.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
so what happened? Because let me just recap. You're doing this contest called the Den of Sadness, where people got to identify a sound. If they identify a certain sound, they got something really stupid out of Jimmy's apartment, like some DVDs or some self-help books.
Or latex Lacey.
Latex Lacey. Someone already wants the cilantro story, by the way.
I do.
Someone's like asking for the cilantro story. Anyway, so you were really worried because all the people that won this terrible contest, and it was terrible, but it was incredible because it was so terrible. They all qualified to live with you for the weekend, right? And so what you're angry about and why you're here is because the grand prize. Lachlan fucked you over effectively, correct? What happened?
So
let me explain it. No, or this is going to turn into another cilantro story.
Let's let Jimmy. Let's let Jimmy. That's why I want Jimmy.
This is exactly what happened. Is we had a winner from
Jimmy.
Yes.
Do you want some explaining music?
No, I'll be quick. I'm not gonna. This isn't gonna be a 6-hour story like Lachlan. Okay.
I'll give you some anyway.
Basically, what happened? We had a draw. Okay, for the winner, we put all the names in there. I rigged it so the only person that was in the draw lived in Ontario. more than
Brad.
likely not going to come to my house. And I had it all ready to go. I drew the name, and then Grant went through and told everybody that's the only name in the draw. Like, and then everybody wanted to stay at my house. He was saying, okay, yeah, since he cheated, yeah, you guys can all take turns. We can get a schedule going.
Okay, let me fill in some of the holes here, Dean. Okay, so
Yeah, they're in your head.
By the way, you are the worst storyteller I've ever heard in my life, Jimmy, and it's incredible. But good for you.
It's so entertaining.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
anyway,
For you.
we started this contest. It's trolling other radio stations that have these sound of the day contests. We put mics in the Den of Sadness, which is what we affectionately refer to as Jimmy's apartment.
Yeah.
And then we took these sounds, played them on the air, and we gave away shit from Jimmy's apartment. So, one, we're trolling other radio stations. Two, our company gives all the money to the other radio station in our building down the hall. We don't need to get into the reason why they get all the money. We'll just say they need it. So we thought it would be funny to do this contest on our show because they're giving away 20 grand and we're giving away Jack Johnny Canuck Squad shit, which literally it was shit from Jimmy's apartment.
Yeah,
At
like
the
what?
beginning
Like
of
what were some of the prizes? Just
his
take us
crock
through.
pot, a DVD player that he had in the early 2000s, late 90s. It doesn't even work anymore. We
Yeah.
gave away like his blow-up doll, latex Lacey. It was just a bunch of shit, some books. Like I just said, go through your stuff and bring in a box of stuff and we'll give that stuff away. And we thought it was hilarious.
Yeah.
A lot of people that were playing, I think at first thought maybe we were kidding, and then at the end of it, there was going to be a great prize. And we kept telling them, this is as good as it gets. So don't expect anything good out of this. Shortly after we started, Grant started kidding, saying, oh, but we do have a grand prize. All the qualifiers are in a grand prize draw for a weekend stay at Jimmy's place. So we kind of had a laugh. And then I said to Jimmy, and this is my fault, I convinced Jimmy to actually do it. And the reason why I did it is because I thought nobody who knows this show, who knows Jimmy, who is a complete fucking animal, is going to want to stay in this individual's apartment. Like, it's disgusting.
Why not, though? Is it that bad, Jimmy? Is your apartment that
fuck,
gross? Like, turn the camera around so we can kind of have a look at your place.
Take us for
every picture that I've seen. Well, I don't want to see his bathroom, but every picture I've seen of his place, it actually looks doesn't look terrible. He's got a little guy beanbag chair there. He's got. It looks like things are organized.
You can't smell the apartment.
Does it smell bad?
It's awful.
It smell like old man? Smell like old dude?
Here's what it smells like. It smells
like a senior's home.
You've given an apartment to a 12-year-old.
Oh.
And you've
So it
said,
smells like
and
Fizz
don't
Whiz.
worry about cleaning.
Yeah.
So he doesn't clean, and I know he's embarrassed by all this, but his family comes up to visit him, and they wait in the car for him. They won't even come into his house.
Mostly my mother. She's seen my bedroom when I was a kid.
So she's not even coming into the house, okay? So I thought nobody in their right mind would want to spend the weekend with Jimmy. Well, we're fucking wrong. Everybody now is playing, and they're telling us every day, I'm trying to get in on the grand prize. And I'm like, shit. I didn't think anybody would actually. I thought we could continue the griff. So Jimmy starts to panic because he's realizing what I'm realizing. Some asshole is actually going to fucking spend the weekend with him. So he says to me a couple of days before we do the grand prize draw, he goes, Locke, I can't. I don't want anybody staying with me. And I'm like, you're not wrong. I don't disagree. The only reason I thought it would be a good idea to do this is because I never thought anybody would actually do it. So he says, I got an idea. Let's fix it. We'll give the grand prize to Brad, who lives in Ontario. There's no fucking way Brad's going to buy a plane ticket to fly to Edmonton to spend a weekend with Jimmy. So
especially if it smells as bad as you're saying it smells in Jimmy's apartment. Yeah.
It is. Admit it, Jimmy.
Well,
Your
Brad's a
apartment-
nice guy. Maybe he would have come and scrubbed it clean for
Yeah, and he's
poor little
paramedic. He
James
smelled
P.
worse,
White.
right? Yeah.
Yeah,
maybe it
he
would have helped
smelled
him.
death, for fuck's sakes.
Yeah.
Listen,
So I'm pretty
every
sure
time
he could have put up with James's apartment.
Okay.
You guys have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay, no,
You're
listen,
right.
there's the perfect example on how bad this apartment is. Our buddy, he used to be in the Army.
Army Chris's friend. We call him. His name's Dave. Crazy Dave. Okay.
Yeah.
Go on, Jimmy.
Go ahead.
And he came into my apartment, and he was traumatized for 3 days.
This is a guy that went to war.
He,
This is
he
a
was
guy that's
on the
been.
bomb squad.
He's been with a gun in his hand. Had people die around him, and it changed.
And Jimmy's apartment gave him PSD, not war.
Yeah.
Please.
I saw him after he went
pick
to
up a
Jimmy's apartment this
fucking
summer, and he walked into the bar, sat down, looked right at me, and went, "We need to talk about Jimmy's apartment." And it was all he could do was to discuss this. So anyway, I agreed to let Jimmy fix the contest, and then I thought it would be funny to fuck with him. So I told Grant that Jimmy was fixing the contest, and I said, in the middle of the contest when we're doing the grand prize draw, make sure you reach into the bucket and call him out. And then the hilarity ensued when we caught Jimmy cheating. And
Which, by the way, you told him to do.
This is what I mean. He tells me to do. He tells me to do shit, then he throws me down.
I know, James.
But you fall for it every time. You're like Charlie Brown and Lucy, bro.
The best part. The morning we were driving into work, Jimmy, who is wired very honest. He's a very honest kid.
Yes, he is.
And very loyal. In the car on the way into work in the morning, because I drive him into work every day, he looks at me and goes, "Dude, I'm second guessing this whole plan to rig it. I don't think it's fair. Maybe we should just do what we were originally." And I'm like, no. Go with the original plan.
You know why? Because you were committed to fucking him, and you couldn't do it if you had a change.
Exactly.
This is the kind of friend I have.
Fucking Grinch, bro.
And then I announced on the air that we fucked with them, and then I said we got to come up with some sort of punishment.
Yeah.
So I offered everybody who qualified to come over today. Today would have been the day. And spend an afternoon drinking beers.
Did you literally give? But did you give his literal address out on the radio?
Everything but my apartment number.
How else are they going to get there?
You are
and
something,
even the people that didn't answer the damn phone, he left a message and the address on the message. And one of these guys go by the name Crazy Corey.
You're fucked.
Well, you got that sword there, Jimmy. You could take.
You know what? The best part about it is we showed up at noon at his apartment, and not a soul was there.
But the guy named Crazy Corey, he realized he's 4 blocks away from my house.
That's the best part of it. That's the best part of this whole story is that no one showed up, but Crazy Corey, he'll be there on Saturday. I'm sure of it.
Well, we actually have something for you, Locke.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I know this week you've been taking a lot of heat for something, and we'll get to what it is in just a second. I'm personally,
I know what this is.
I'm personally tired of covering for you. I know Jimmy has been too, because he's been trying to cover for you for about a year now. We have some proof too, but James, did you want to let our listeners know, ardent listeners and fans of Lachlan, know who the real Lachlan is? Do you want to do that for us, or do you want me to? I say you do it.
He is the truest anti-vaxxer on the planet.
Full of shit.
Hey, we have a break. We have a break where you basically say shots are bad for you.
Nice fucking Photoshop.
It was flu shots, but it was exact same. And not only that, show them your Vax card. I know that one's fake.
Show us your Vax card. Jimmy told us that you have fake Vax cards.
Laminated it.
Let's see it. Let's see it.
I just
laminated it.
Let's see it.
I laminated the paper ones that you print off from the computer.
Let's see it, dude.
They're in my wallet.
I'm sort of. Well, then go get your wallet, because listen, if you're gonna sell Jimmy down the road and give his fucking his physical address out
live on the
radio. we might as well dig into the fact that you're an anti-vaxxer. I got to tell you, I'm disappointed that, and I, he had me fooled, Jimmy. He had me fooled for months. I'm
Not
shocked.
only is he an anti-vaxxer, he's anti-climate change, and he has a big problem with windmills.
Yes, he does. Look at him. There he is. And he calls his own shots.
It's funny how Lachlan has nice Goldilocks flow out of the back, too.
Okay,
I love
hold on. I got
it. Let's see this card.
What
do you see?
You guys are going to like this. My wallet doesn't shut anymore, so I got to have an elastic band on it. Because of the
That's all that money. It's all that radio money.
Yeah. I'm
Let's
just
see the Vax card. Let's see it.
So this was the first one you got. If you went on to the app, the Alberta Health app or whatever it is, you could print off your immunization record. So the first attempt at a certificate of proof of vaccination was this thing. Okay, so that there is laminated now.
Yeah, but
it's sort of trying to bend into my wallet.
Doesn't look real. It looks fake.
They all look fake. This is Alberta. Welcome to Alberta.
Fuck it.
By the way, they came on a PDF. They came on a PDF. No, not only that. I'm so not an anti-vax. I had to get 3 fucking vaccines this year because I had the loser one on the front end, and I was worried about not being able to travel with the mixed dose.
Jimmy, is that true? Does his had 3, or is it true that he's had 0? Yeah, I heard he's had no vaccines at all.
Totally
I heard he's faking it.
He went to his buddy Sam Steele, and he just printed out some stuff for
him. You're such a dick, Jimmy. Okay, and then this
0 shots.
This is the latest one, and it's the QR code, which, by the way, Alberta is the only province in Canada where this isn't going to be accepted federally because we're such fucking idiots. They've screwed everything up.
Yeah.
Kenny is such a tool.
I read that today because, as you guys all know, in Canada, as of November the 30th, you have to have fully vaxxed travel status. You got to be fully vaxxed if you want to get on a plane to go from Saskatoon to Vancouver. Like in domestic travel, you won't be allowed on any kind of plane, train, automobile, none of that stuff. If it's a public thing, you can't do it without getting vaccinated.
Well, you can do bus.
But you can't. Not across Canada. You can't. The loser cruiser,
the skids.
Jimmy,
you can do bus because everybody that's on the bus isn't vaccinated anyway, so it really doesn't matter. It's like a tube of death.
Jimmy has to take the Red Arrow to Tabor for Christmas, so he's already got his ticket. And there's nothing on the Red Arrow webpage that's saying you have to be vaccinated, but it does say everybody on the bus has to wear a mask. Yeah. So that's going to be like the Chris Sky transportation is going to be the is going to be the Greyhound. It's how he's going to have to get around if he wants to travel across the country.
We're clearly joking. Locke's vaccinated, but
no, I'm fully vaxxed.
Amazed, like yesterday when they said that the vaccine passport for people that travel happened. You would not believe the hatred because I was just talking about it and. The hatred that I got back yesterday, I've got tons of email to read today, by the way. It is absolutely all world right now. From that part of the world, the people who don't believe in science. Like I got this one today. This is classic. Sorry, I left his email address.
Before you read this, what was it that precipitated this flood of emails?
Oh, just like
what did you post?
It was a story about it's a story at DeanBlundell.com on basically it's over. Like it's coming. There's a couple of stories. One of them was Chris Sky. The other one, and let's get to that, which probably triggered everybody because Chris Sky put this out yesterday on Telegram in response to that article that we wrote. And the article was Chris Sky says he's now the leader of God's army and those who aren't with him will be enslaved. That's a fact. I posted the video where you can see it yourself. So Chris took exception to that, and he on Telegram, don't even know what this is. Apparently Telegram is like where all the losers are congregating right now because they can't be on real social media. So Chris puts this on social media.
It's like
Can they go to Telegram?
The closest thing is comparison from what I've heard is it's comparable to Twitter.
Okay.
Very similar where you get your followers and everything.
Yeah, zero interest in being on it. Sorry, Bonzi, what were you going to say?
Well, I was just going to say Telegram is also very cryptic or protected. So when I joined into the crypto world a year and a half ago, I was told that everybody that you were conversing with and talking crypto about and stuff, you got a Telegram account because it was, very secretive and it's harder for people to bust into or whatever.
Yeah, it's
so you go
it's
on
more
Telegram to be more
secure.
private.
Like they can't track your IP address when you post, or I guess is that it, Bonzi?
I don't know. I just that explains why all the losers are there if that's the case. But Chris put this out, and Karima actually, this is her tweet. I just used the picture and then put a comment on Twitter at It's Dean Blundell is where you can find it. Real Chris Sky says, in response to my article that called him the leader of God's army, where he said people will be enslaved unless they follow him. People who always say they want to help. Well, any lawyers interested in a defamation case without any significant cost. I mean, I want to hold both them accountable. I don't know who the fuck both is, but I don't want to waste time and money. Guess I'm looking for a freedom fighter who wants to make a splash. Now, that's Chris Sky in response to my story about exactly what he said, with the video of exactly what he said, telling his followers, these fucking losers on Telegram at Loser Central, that he's looking to crowdfund a lawyer to sue me for posting what he said. So after I put that out, Chris Sky's absolute fucking degenerate fans came out. This guy named Alex Casavias. There's his email address in case you want to email him. Thank you, Dean, he says. Given your slander against Chris Sky there, everybody knows who's interested can now see what scum you are. Chris is a freedom fighter, and you're a willing slave. Eat shit, faggot. Oh, that was nice. This is another one that I got.
Dine on excrement.
This person says, hey, Dean, dine on excrement. Dean Blundell.
That guy's really angry.
Go fuck yourself. Worthless faggot. Once a maple N-word, always a maple N-word. Wow. It's indicative of the crowd. It's indicative of the crowd, which is what I'm saying.
What is a maple N-word? I've never heard that expression.
I don't know. A Canadian black person, I guess. I don't know. I'm unsure. These are virulent, racist, dumb, cognitively delayed, mentally incapacitated fucking losers. So it's impossible to say that, this is the motivation or this is the impetus for why this person said that, because their brains are fucked. Like, their brains are literally fried. Every one of Chris' followers, every one of these anti-vaxxers who's in the movement, who's still violent, their brains are so fucking fried from years of self-abuse, emotional abuse, not caring about actually living in the world and educating themselves, not giving a shit about reading or writing or arithmetic or the general vagaries of how to be a fucking human being. So this is what they do. They go racist, they go homophobic, and sometimes you get both in the same one, which we did here, which is really, really impressive, right? And I have that guy's IP address, and I've already forwarded it to some people that'll take care of it. So
whenever we talk about the vaccine, we get called like libtards and that we're sheeple and that we are sending out the fake news and trying to indoctrinate and brainwash people. And
it'd be incredible if that was happening, though. Like, if we were all part of this crazy cabal, like, wouldn't that be awesome? Like, because there's so much comfort in knowing we're part of 90% of society.
It is disturbing how many people, and there's probably some people listening right now that think that our show is somehow crafted or curated by the federal government.
Paid for.
They honestly believe that. We get calls almost weekly where I know you can't say this because of who's paying your bills. I'm like, who's paying my bills? Harvard. It's a private company. No. I mean the liberal government is paying you to say what you say, and I'm like, what? Where did you get that? Why do you think that? I shit all over every political party every day. on the show, and somehow you have decided that they control our content. What do you think that fucking JT gets up early and sends me a fax on what to say?
They do.
Like it's unbelievable how people's minds work with respect to government control. I'm like, and I'm like, have you not listened to our fucking show?
We laugh at the word caucus every time Grant mentions it.
Yeah, like it's insane.
It is a great word. Right.
It's a great word.
It's a tremendous word. Yeah.
Yeah.
So is the phrase egg hunt, because you can do so much with that. Egg hunt. Lindley's in. Hey, Lindley. Hey, buddy. He's just having his.
Are you in a
happy
better
hour.
mood today,
Drink.
Brian? Are you in
He's
a
having
better
a
mood?
drink.
I'm in a great mood, Locke. How are you?
You were a little. He came in a little hot yesterday. Like
He's
and he
mad at
was
you
like,
guys. Yeah, because James, we had one guy passing around misinformation. We had another guy outing this guy's entire burner account. Of course, he was mad. By the way, that was you.
Actually, Lachlan and I had a nice conversation that evening on the phone, and everything is fine. So
yeah, we
He was mad at me
sorted
the
out
day
our
before, so don't feel too bad.
Yeah,
we sorted out our misunderstanding. Yeah.
I wasn't mad at Bonzi.
So you guys
just
worked it out. One guy listened to the other, and the other person was like, "Yeah, I get that. That's how normal."
No,
people.
I just
Back
waited
to
for him
this
to
world.
stop talking, and then I just
Okay, good.
injected my side.
Back to this world. I'm not done with the hate yet. Okay.
Okay.
Are you assuming? Are you assuming Big Chris's identity, Dean? What's going on with you?
Lindley, I'm talking about hatred now. Okay.
Yeah.
Give me a little slack. Then I got this today from a guy named Jimmy, who's dumb as fuck.
Not you, Jimmy.
This was about no,
I
not
go
you, Jimmy.
by a different.
Jimmy says saying it's wrong doesn't mean. Long story short, this guy was basically saying kids don't get sick, as he said in this tweet here. I'm asking you to show where this is happening. Kids are not getting sick. Kids are not in the ICU. This is affecting two major demographics: obesity, 78%, and the elderly, 83 plus with comorbidities. This guy's an idiot. I'm like, kids aren't getting sick, huh? And then I tagged in Nurse Kate or Nurse Kat, and she had a point of clarification. And hers was a massive article on how children under 11 now make up 20% of Ontario's caseload. And I don't know what's in me, but I fucking love this part of my job. After she tweeted that out, I subtweeted it and I put, "Eat it, Jimmy. Eat all of it." And then Jimmy replies, "Seems like a reasonable response from an adult for a radio host. The art of civil debate is lost." And then Nurse Kat goes, "You're making excuses for putting kids at risk. You deserve all of it." And then about 5 more times after that, I'm like, "Eat the shit, Jimmy. Eat the shit. Eat all the shit, Jimmy." And then another tweet from him is like, "Why do you keep talking about poop?" I'm like, "Jimmy, just eat the shit." Seriously. Like, that's what this time is for all of those people. It is time to eat the shit. They're cornered. They're wrong. And at this point, even the fucking premier of the province of Ontario said something today, Lindley. Did you not just see him? And it just happened like about 25, 30 minutes ago. Doug Ford, for as much of a fucking doofus as he is, literally just parked a fucking semi-trailer on Randy Hillier's head. What did he say?
Yes, he did. I was dying, actually. It's exactly what I said to Ashley. I said, I haven't liked a goddamn thing that came out of that guy's mouth for months. And today, I was actually like, "Hey, you're all right today." He said, some reporter, I think it might have been Richard Southern, asked him what his opinion on Randy Hillier's take on the that tweet we talked about a couple of days ago, where he put out the
I'll just put this up. It was Hillier falsely claimed a bunch of people died from getting the vaccine, and there's been a ton of news articles debunking those deaths as not vaccine related. So what Randy Hillier did, because he's an old stupid fuck, is he just co-opted a bunch of people's sadness and their death and said it's all because of the vaccine. And all these people started going, "Wait a second, that was my friend that died, or that was my sister that died. She died of a heart attack, or he died of a car accident, or he died of an overdose that had nothing to do with the vaccine." And so apparently Ford said this, "It's disgusting. That's why Randy Hillier is not part of our party." The cheese slipped off the cracker with this guy. He's lost his mind, Premier Ford.
Yeah, pretty much. And he said he won't. And then he made fun of him for his entire constituency being the highest vaccinated in the province of Ontario.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did. He said, he made fun of Hillier for it. He said, obviously they're not listening to him, and the cheese is slid off the cracker. He literally used those words and said,
He used
in
that
my
expression.
in my opinion, I think he's crazy. He said, I think he's out of his mind. I think was the words he used. He's talking about a sitting elected official right now.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's that's pretty severe, even though everybody knows it's true. It's pretty severe for the premier to come out and actually say it out loud and in plain language, like you're a fucking idiot and maybe you should shut your mouth.
We need more of that. You know what I mean? I think.
Yeah, dude, we're the only people that have been doing it. Like,
there's there's too many people with power in our country not saying what they think. And the funny thing is, every time one of these losers that we have zero respect for actually has a moment of clarity and truth, and you can see it and it shines through, whether it's a moment of anger or whatever.
Yeah,
I have more respect for that moment than I've had for their entire existence.
Oh, I agree.
Up to this point, right? And then and they don't see it, and then they don't realize it. Again, this is a stupid example, but I remember radio school fucked me for about 2.5, 3 years because I went to school, and the whole time I was there, I was trying to emulate something that I thought I needed to emulate because of school, because of the people around me, the people teaching me. So I was the radio DJ. And then I ended up on the radio in Prince George,
still a radio
covering a morning show, and I got into a fight with the sports guy because he was a Habs fan, and it was clear he was delusional in his delivery of the sports. So I popped my mic on and went at him. And I heard this voice, the voice you hear now, not this voice. Hey, thanks for tuning in tonight.
It would have been way funnier if you used the voice, though.
And then I went,
you're a fucking asshole.
A switch went off. I could hear my own voice in my headphones going, okay, hold on. That's who I am. I'm going to be that fucking guy moving forward. Why do we have moments of this from politicians and they don't realize how much more of an impact that real person has on us? Their fucking faults, their like all their warts, everything. I will have way more respect for you if you are real and honest with me than sitting there blowing smoke up my fucking ass every day. And that's the way all of us should try to conduct ourselves, whether you're on the radio, whether you're a politician, whether you're a server at fucking Earl's. Just be yourself and stop fucking worrying about what everybody else thinks.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my God.
We talked about this on election night. Remember, we talked about that with Justin Trudeau, how we hated everything that comes out of his mouth when it's all camera ready and good to go and polished. But that time that he was like in the park after he got chased out of that rally, and he talked to a camera with no fucking script and we were all like, holy fuck, that's the guy. Like, that's the guy right there. So you're right. If they're just honest, be yourself.
And you know, the problem that this whole thing has created, and we talk about it from time to time, is the vacuum, like that knowledge or that authoritative vacuum that's existed for a long time. When Doug Ford, who deserves no credit for parking a fucking bus on the head of Randy Hillier. I mean, we've been doing it for months. And the reason why he doesn't deserve any credit, because nothing he's ever said prior to this has stood in contrast to the entire fucking movement, right? He just fucking hides, and he lets his daughters go out and, you know, put out these leaflets and these stupid fucking vignettes on TikTok about how the vaccine is bad and the pandemic isn't real and stuff like that. So he's got no credibility in this arena. The only reason why we're laughing is because they're eating each other at this point, right? Like, to have Doug Ford call Randy Hillier a piece of shit after we've been doing it for like 10 months in the Chris Skies of the world, when nobody else has had the nuts to like scrote up and tell the fucking truth about that entire movement in the community and all the people in it and what they're all about and what their motivations are, which are purely selfish. And on the other hand, too, Doug does not have a fucking history of standing up for the greater good. Like, he just doesn't. No. Every decision that he's made, like the other day, he made this decision about, you know, we still don't have a vaccine mandate for fucking healthcare workers, and he mandated bathroom use for truckers on the road. Like, that was his big thing. And he brought like the labor guy out to like pretend to walk out of a porta-john and literally tell everybody, your bowel movements are important to us, truckers. Like,
what is it with the conservatives and their fascinations with porta potties?
they love shitters. I don't know. It's the weirdest thing. It is the weirdest fucking thing.
It really is.
It doesn't take away from the damage that Randy Hillier's done, too, right? Like, we are literally, correct me if I'm wrong, but it sure feels like this, Lindley. Bonzi, you have a little skin in the game because you're sort of vaccinated. James P. White, he's in the game because he's double. Locks, triple. You're vaccinated with the loser vaccine. And you can play in the whole
as far as
time.
I'm concerned.
The J&J,
Yeah,
they're
whatever.
calling for a
got
J&J
the
booster.
vaccination.
But we are literally,
No
this is
fucking
the start of a season. Some
COVID.
people call it fall. Some people call it early winter. This is shit-eating season.
Yeah.
That's where we are. Like, you've been waiting for this. I made mention of it yesterday in the podcast. All of us, except for Bonzi, have been waiting for this. This, fuck you. We're sick of your shit. Get vaccinated. Stop whining. Stop complaining. Shit-eating season. This is it.
Yep.
It is the start of it. Sick kids pumping a couple hundred people yesterday. UHN pumped a couple hundred people yesterday. Toronto police is like, go get fucked if you're not going to get vaccinated by the 30th. This is shit-eating season
Well, and the
for the
courts, a lot of
vast
these
majority of us.
churches and
I love
restaurants that have not been following the rules have
That's
tried
right.
to launch lawsuits, and they keep getting thrown out right across the country. So they've got the support of the legal community as well, right? They're behind it as well. I still think, and again, I want to highlight this because I think it needs to be said out loud, especially on this podcast, with how much angst we've had towards that side. I don't, as much as it is enjoyable, and I realize how much pleasure you get out of it, Dean, to me, it's still not the healthy approach. I don't have an alternative answer. I still don't think that this is 100% the way that
Is
we
this
need
glass
to be
is
doing
half
this.
full, Lock? This is glass half
No,
full.
it isn't a
Lock?
half
Or is
full
it-
thing. It's not. It has none of that. It has everything to do with my concern about the separation in society, right? It's clear to me that the people that are on that far right, the fuck you people in this country and in North America and around the world, are starting to separate further and further from the rest of society.
So can
And
I ask
I don't
you a
know if that's
question?
a good thing. I think actually, it's not a good thing.
No, it's not. But we're not doing it.
We are
Look, can I ask you-
radicalizing. We're
not.
radicalizing more and more people.
No, we're not.
We are.
No, we're not.
It's
No, we're not.
happening.
No,
You
it isn't.
can't
We're
can't blame
seeing
the people doing the right thing.
No. Hold it.
For making people do the wrong thing. Like,
No.
you
So
can't
can I let me
Ryan,
just
I
let me
get
let me
that,
kind of
but you can evaluate why we are where we're at, and
I
there
can.
are some issues. There are
Let me help you.
definitely some issues, and we made some fucking huge mistakes. The guys that are saying they're doing everything right, those fuckers have fucked up. Huge.
Oh yeah,
They've
everybody has.
They've misrepresented masks. They've done things in the wrong order. We have fucking fucked this whole thing, and it needs to be dealt with. And the problem is instead of dealing with the fucking mistakes we've made and admitting the mistakes that have been made, not only in Canada but the United States and around the world, instead we're trying to gloss over it and keep going, no, but this is the right thing to do. Keep wearing your fucking mask. Keep staying 6 feet away. Keep and
And
all
doesn't
it's
that
doing
scare
is
you,
just
Locke?
completely. It does scare the shit out of me, and I
You
think
have
more
a
people on this
point.
podcast need to be concerned about the fact that it is fucking separate. There's a guy 30 minutes away from my house digging tunnels that got caught with fucking explosives, 26 years old, and is out on fucking bail. The guy is a complete fucking lunatic. Why? Why? Because his mom didn't give him enough hugs?
Yeah,
No,
basically.
because of the fucking world we live in right now. And he's
Well, hold it though, dude. He started building tunnels. You're talking about Mole Man in
Yes.
2015. It's like 4 years before the fucking virus. He was
And
even
there
a
were
fucking glint
things
in the eye.
happening. There were
Yeah.
things happening back
Yeah, but
then,
that's
though.
my point is
There-
that we're always going to have these people. Listen, let's put this in perspective, right? 100% of the people in this country had the exact same information, had the exact same time frame. They had the exact same books, the exact same book reports, the exact same peer-reviewed studies, everything for the exact same period of time. 85.2% of us have decided to make a decision based on that information.
And that's good,
Around
and I'm glad
10 hang
we're
on.
there.
Around 10 to 14% are refusing it based on the same information all of us have had for the exact same fucking period of time. Where I come from, much like an election, you decide what horse you're going to back in each race. This was a big race, and it was life or death for a lot of people, right? So I think the people that took it seriously, that did the reading, that were originally anti-vax, some people would say Locke was, like Jimmy. He was just pointing it out. I don't know that that's necessarily the case.
I'm anti-flu shot.
But we, because you don't know what's in it. I love
awesome.
I am legitimately anti-flu shot, but we can get into that another day.
I don't want to. I'm tired of the anti this shot.
I can explain it to you what his
yeah, let's do that.
Okay,
and then let's talk about cilantro and pork
that'd
roast.
be great, Jimmy. Yeah, we're gonna get you to write your stories down from now on. But here's the thing: is that everybody had the exact same period of time, the exact same information. And if this was an election, 85% of people would have chosen their government. 15% would have been left out in the cold. That 15% is telling us they don't agree with the results of science. They don't agree with 85%. You know what? It doesn't fucking matter anymore. That's why I don't care. And that 15%, I would say 2% of that 15% that's left are the militant fucking losers that you're talking about. We've always had them. We're always going to have them. Your boy Mole Man that was digging tunnels up in Edmonton that was found with a bunch of explosives a couple of weeks ago, domestic white supremacist. That guy's been doing it for years, and it had nothing to do with the vaccine. Or this is just, it's all pile-on stuff. Like, these are people who didn't agree with or like the government in the first place. And you throw this into the mix where the government's telling them, you should probably get vaccinated or you're going to lose your job. You're creating a fucking
you can't travel
massive,
if you're not getting vaxxed. You're going to lose your job if you can't get vaxxed.
But they had the same information at the same time, right?
I'm telling you, it's gonna cause some angst. It's gonna increase that 2%. If it is 2%, I think it's higher, and it's gonna make things harder for us moving forward. And not only that, you're also
who are you blaming,
disenfranchising an entire population that is given up on politics and our public officials as a whole. They're not voting,
and we all have that information too, dude. But we have all that information too.
That's
and
why
you
we
and
keep
I
getting these fucking liberals in, because the only people that are going to the fucking polls are in civic elections and provincial elections and in federal elections are the people
losers.
Okay.
So now we end up with this overly woke fucking government trying to over fucking control a population, making it worse.
But that's a different story. That's a whole different totally. But that's a different story to me. I'm still talking about the safety and protection of the individual in this country. Ryan Lindley is trying to tell everybody to relax, even though Lachlan and I know that we're both very chill about this whole thing. We're just animated performers, Ryan. We're just animated performers.
I'm going to bring this down to another level that needs to go. We need to stop immediately when we're referring to this to politics. Pandemics, viruses don't vote. If you've been listening to science, and if you know how science works, which is the biggest problem right now, this is the first time a lot of people have actually watched the birth of a virus through its infancy, through its, adolescence, and into where we are now. They don't know that science isn't 100% every time. So if you listen to the scientists that said, don't wear masks in the beginning, and then when they backtracked, they went, okay, listen, data's coming in saying now maybe the masks were pretty good. Maybe let's go back to the masks then just to be cautious, and then we'll wait for more data. More data came. That's right. Masks are working. Problem is they gave that information to a politician to deliver to you and me. That was the mistake. If you're going to listen to anybody, turn the fucking TV off, read a fucking paper, read a fucking feed from an actual scientist or a like somebody that's actually supposed to be doing that job. Don't listen to Doug Ford. Don't listen to Justin Trudeau. Don't listen to Joe Biden. Don't listen to Donald fucking Trump. Listen to a scientist that actually does this for a living. Yeah, they might not be very well versed. They might, not, have personality skills as a fucking politician. That's not what you need. You want the answers. You have to understand that science doesn't work like a 1 + 1 = 2. That's not how science works. It's here's a bunch of numbers, figure it out. And they start to figure it out, and they work together. And then this is wrong. Okay, let's go back to the table. Let's do it this way. And it doesn't overnight.
Brian, you're making one mistake. You're suggesting in this equation of how this information was delivered that they did try to work together. They didn't. They weren't
No,
listening to each other.
not
They
politicians. I'm talking about
things from
science.
the beginning. And not only that, I didn't make this political. You didn't make this political. Dean didn't make this political. This has become political. This
Correct.
COVID thing should have been a health crisis. It's not a health crisis anymore. It's a political crisis. And
Right.
that's part
It's
of the
still a health
conversation
crisis.
that
That's
we
the problem.
It is, and it should have been from day one. The problem
Politics
is we
mean
let
nothing.
these fucking moron politicians fuck it. They screwed it. They booted it. They made mistakes from the beginning. It's a novel virus. This is the first time we've ever dealt with this. And you and I know this, and you and I are looking at the information and dissecting it that way. Every time I saw some asshole politician step up to a podium, I was just going, what are you doing? Stop talking. Stop talking.
Yeah.
Stop talking.
Yep.
Stop talking.
But
You are
dude, it's
making it
still
worse.
happening.
Who
It's
put
still
you there?
happening.
It doesn't change what's happening. You're right.
It's still happening too. Like today.
And that's not my fault. That's not Dean's
No.
fault. That's not anybody's fault. They have
but
screwed
when
this up for
when
all of
people
us.
like us, I know, and when people like us say, "Hold on a second," to people like that, you get shit piled. Like that was part of my day today. Leslyn Lewis, who almost ran for or did run for the Conservative Leadership Party of Canada and lost. She puts this out. Trudeau says Pfizer to provide millions of COVID-19 vaccines for children 5 to 11 once approved. We heard that this week. Thought that was great news. You want to protect your kids from getting sick. 10 to 40% of children who've gotten this have had life-changing long-haul effects, by the way. Just so you know, death isn't the ultimate. It's the long-haul effect and the quality of life that you lead after you get it, no matter how fucking old you are. But Dr. Lewis, this is an academic doctor. She's got a PhD in law. She's not like a doctor. She says, never have Canadian children been used as shields for adults. This is a fucking politician. Parents question vaccinating kids 5 to 12 without long-term data, low risk of fatality, cautions echoed around the world when treatment either prevents transmitting or getting the virus. Both of those last two bits are wrong. The treatment does go much further in preventing transmission and actually getting the virus itself. And you stand an 11 times greater pardon, what's that?
It does slow the roll. We all know that.
Yes, it does.
But we're not idiots.
So, and what this is, to me, this is what you're talking about, along with all the other people that were paid to deliver scientific messaging, to Ryan's point, and then they used that, and they used it in a way to get whatever it was that they wanted or represent whatever it was that their wants were as a political party or a political system or a power center. That's that. To me, that's over here. I'm talking about the individual who continues to tell everybody kids don't get this, right? I'm talking about that information because that information is clearly fucking wrong and we're still fighting it. And now that shit-eating season is here, it's amped up. That's why I got this today, along with several others, calling me the F-sharp and the N-word because they don't want to hear it. Yeah, dine on excrement. I like that. Yeah. All the other stuff, he doesn't want to say eat shit.
Now, listen,
so I
am 100% okay. I'm 100% okay with there being a percentage of the population not getting this. I'm completely comfortable with that. I'm actually surprised we're at 85%, to be honest with you. I never thought we would crack 80% in the country for vaccines. So that to me, that's positive. And I think some of the things they've done,
85 in Ontario. What's the actual
across the country? I think it's 85, isn't it? Or 84.9?
No, it's 85 in Ontario. Across the country, I think it's closer to 80.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Alberta,
anyway, we're bringing it down a little bit, but not much. I mean, we're close to 80% as well. The thing that also drives me crazy, and this is part of the problem with politics being involved in this, and again, I would like everybody to know I don't know what the answer is. I don't know what we did wrong. I don't know why every time we have to have a conversation about Fauci or anybody from the health side of things that was trying to deliver these messages, that they've got to lump his name in with Trump or Rand or whatever the fuck it is. We have politicized this as a society, and it is the biggest issue that they have. Yes. The other thing is this information has been disseminated down to us at such a basic level. Like, you can tell that they're trying to pass this information along to the public with the lowest common denominator in mind.
That's
and
because
we're
that's what those
still
politicians
where
understand.
we're at. Like
What's that, Brian?
they're talking to the dumbest people in the crowd, and we're still dealing with what we're dealing with. We
Because of
still
them.
can't get 100% of the audience on board
Because
with
of them.
this.
Because of them.
It's
What is-
so
them, that's the
fucking
thing. Like,
frustrating.
Well, I know, and so like that's where the whole conversation starts to take a side turn and a right turn and a this turn and a that turn, is when we're like, yeah, but this is one-sided. Like, we've said it on the show several times. Both sides do this. When it comes to the health and the safety of individuals, according to their best available science, this is the most one-sided fucking conversation to have on the planet. 85% of Ontarians are fucking vaccinated. We're opening up on
Why
Monday.
did it take
All the
them so
restrictions.
long? Why did it take them so long to open up restaurants for the vaccinated? Why did it take them so long? Why have we still
That's
not
the
got
political-
a vaccine passport? Like,
That's
there's
the
so many
political
mistakes
conversation
here.
because of politics, because of wants versus needs, and that's it. That's
Why
it.
are
And,
the-
and you're not going to fix it. Sorry, Bonzi, go ahead.
Well,
I know.
I'm wondering too, and it happens out there. It happened to me. It happened to many others. The side effects of getting the vaccine is a big thing, and it's being kind of hushed. Do you think the certain percentage of
How
people that
big?
aren't vaxxed now are scared because of what they're hearing of the stories out there? And is that why the government and the media is keeping?
The numbers are
s-
easily available, Bonzi, for side effects.
Who's-
Whether or not they're being reported properly, that's another question for another day, I think. But if you want information on what is available or what's happening to you when you get vaxxed, it's available. It's out there.
Yeah.
You just have to spend the time to get it. I'm still not convinced that whatever happened to you was a side effect of the vaccine. And you've actually talked to doctors that aren't even sure about what happened to you. Right?
Because they don't know, though. I mean, the vaccine's new. It's and it does its job to help. It's curved the spread for sure, but there is shit in there that is affecting people. It's not a secret, dude.
But the
all.
numbers are so minuscule compared to what the benefits of the vaccine are. And you know what? There are
True.
people out there that take Tylenol that'll fucking die. And there are risks with every medication. It doesn't matter what population you're looking at, what you're giving anybody, there's always going to be side effects. Again, another example of things that should be just fucking common knowledge. Listen, if I go in and I get a fucking vaccine it doesn't matter for what, for anything, any vaccine over the years has had side effects. And there have been cases of people getting a vaccine. There have been cases of people having fucking massive fucking side effects from the flu shot, Bonzi.
Yeah.
It happens. And it's common knowledge.
Every drug, every vaccine has a side
Every
effect. And so when you are capable of reading, Lindley, I could be wrong, but when you're capable of reading side effects for COVID next to side effects for the vaccine, you'll quickly realize you're like 11 to 12 times more likely to suffer long haul effects. You're 11 to 12 times more likely to die. You are 10 times more likely to have adverse side effects. You're like 50 times, not even, it's like 1,000 times more likely to die if you get fucking COVID. And if you can read that, then you go, It's the people that are like, I don't want any of these side effects and I don't want any of those side effects. In a word, it's called selfish. It's called dumb. And you've made your decision to be in that second tier of society called the victim class, in my opinion. You think all of these people, 85% of Ontarians, have decided not to be part of the victim class. They've decided that they want to go out, live their life, be safe, live healthy, all that stuff. So they don't argue with board certified fucking science.
You don't
However,
get the vaccine for yourself. You get the vaccine for your community.
Yes.
That's just a hard thing. That's a hard thing to hear out loud if you've come up with some reason why you're not going to get vaccinated. I don't know how to convince that segment of the population that doesn't see that. Like, I mean, everybody has to have a reason for doing whatever it is they do in their lives. This one was a no-brainer for me. If this is going to stop the spread, this is going to keep businesses open longer, this is going to keep my family safer, why not? I'll go get the fucking vaccine. And if for those that didn't see that and saw their freedoms ahead of that, I don't know what the fix is.
We
Well,
live
those
in,
are
we live
by the way, those are the same people that say that those freedoms are worth dying for. And there you have the entire problem
Okay,
that
I'll
you're
watch you
talking
die.
about. Yeah.
Yeah, we live in an agreed upon society, and there's certain responsibilities that come with your rights, and a lot of people forget the responsibilities in that society to keep your rights. So I'm sorry, there's a pro and a con. There's a weight that has to be balanced, or else all of us are going to hold it up on our shoulders, and that's just not the way a society works.
Yeah.
Bonzi said something that was really interesting, though, and it was the wording that you're using, Bonzi, and that's they're covering up. You got to stop saying they're covering up all the stories. You got to stop using that terminology because they're not covering anything up. Nothing's covered up. Nothing is being covered up. And you also said this is a new vaccine that you took. You took Johnson & Johnson, correct?
Yes, I did.
That's a viral vector vaccine. Viral vector vaccines have been
200
around
years
for
old.
decades.
Yep.
You're not. Yeah, actually, yeah, you're right, Locke. It's more than that. Your vaccine is not new. You did not take an mRNA vaccine. Those aren't even new. Those are over a decade in research and development. So these are all talking points that anti-vaxxers will latch onto. And
to confuse you.
You say you're pro-vax because you got it. You also say you're refusing to get a booster. So I posted something today about boosters and mixing boosters, and yours is one of the good ones. And same with Dean. Dean and I are kind of in the same camp as well. We both got AZ, which is a viral vector. You got
that.
Oh, I thought you were all Pfizer. Sorry, Locke.
No. I got 2 Pfizers and one, the loser one on the front end. That's why I had to get it because they wouldn't give me an AstraZeneca for a second shot. They pulled it, and then they gave me a Pfizer.
He went AZ Pfizer.
Jimmy too.
Jimmy,
I did double Pfizer.
Oh yeah, you're
Jimmy fell into the obese category, so he got the Cadillac one.
Yeah, he lucked out. Yeah, that was good.
According to the BMI, I'm extremely obese.
You're lucky.
So he went in and got the vax ahead of all of us. He went in like, I'll get the fat guy vax. Boom.
But I posted something this morning about they've got new data that just came out, like I think last night, believe it or not, about efficacy of the boosters for third shots or second shots. And Bonzi is in a really good position for a boost, not getting another J&J, but actually getting a Moderna or a Pfizer shot on top of your J&J. They're saying that you would end up with some sort of like crazy 90+% efficacy rate against the Delta variant even. It's on my timeline. Go back and read it and you'll see the numbers. They're all there. And it's just right back to what we've been saying right along. This is what we're responsible people in a society do.
Yeah. If they're not saying something, it's because they don't
feel confident
season enough to pass along the information, Bonzi. So I think covered up is maybe a better term for it. Is they're not hiding this, they're not covering up this information, but what they are doing is they're waiting to get more data to support some of the things that have happened, because there has been some novel coronavirus, brand new. All this is new. How the viruses are fighting it, or how the vaccines are fighting it, how this vaccine with this vaccine is fighting it, all the booster shot, all of that is information that they need more data for, right? And now they're starting to come out with, how long this is going to stay in your system, how long you're protected, right? And there's going to be a point too where they're going to be able to look at your blood and go, okay, this dick clearly had COVID and he got the J&J. Why did he get so sick? Well, maybe it was the closeness to when you had COVID and then when you got the shot. Maybe that's why you had such a severe reaction to it. And they might be able to tell you down the road.
But
I think you had COVID.
I think you did.
You think you had COVID. You told us you thought you had COVID.
I was joking around one day. I was like, holy fuck. I felt I was dying like it was shit.
Hold on.
I never
you thought you had COVID.
Taste or smell or anything like that. I didn't have the majority of the big symptoms of having.
Well, you had
COVID.
that
Sure, I
erection
had
issue. You had that major erection issue you were telling me about, right?
Anyway,
Where you couldn't maintain an erection
but let's
for more than a
just
minute and
say,
a half.
okay, let's say you did have COVID, even though you're saying you
Sure.
might not have
Okay.
now. Okay, and you had the J&J. There's going to be a point where, and I hope we get there, where they say, all right, everybody who's had COVID and you had the J&J or you had the Pfizer or you had this or that or whatever the case might be, the Chinese fucking vaccine, you're protected for this much longer than the rest of the society that didn't get it, that just had the double Pfizer, right? There's going to be a point where I think we're going to start getting people that got COVID are going to start getting credit for the antibodies that are left in their system that are fighting the variants and whatnot too, right? And all that information isn't available to us yet because we haven't got data on it. So I agree with Ryan. I think we got to stop using some of this terminology is very dangerous. Some of this way that we're talking about this can really fuck with the conspiracy side of it. And
can I just bring this one thing up real quick that you've been so salient today, Locke, and I never thought that this would happen, that you'd come on this specific show and be this with it. And because this was the first tweet I got from you this morning at 8:59 my time, which is like 7 o'clock your time. I just finished my third beer. And then I put, it's Friday. And then about 20 minutes later, I get this, an empty.
That's Jimmy's beer too, by the way. In case you wonder, Jimmy's beer always.
Oh yeah, Jimmy's pissed at you about that.
Yeah,
they drank your beer, Jimmy.
We got a case of beer each, and I have to go buy beer in order for me to drink tonight.
I heard Jimmy
your
calling
address
him
and
all
morning.
morning.
Beer.
Then he came here after dropping me off and drank more of my beer.
At least you're not Alec Baldwin. Did you hear what happened to him yesterday?
Yeah,
that's
holy
wild,
fuck,
dude.
Alec Baldwin shot and killed a lady yesterday. 42-year-old director of photography on the set of a new show he's filming in New Mexico. Kind of a fucking wild story. And the director of photography, her name was Helena Hutchins, 42. She was killed when he fired off a prop gun that had a fucking live round in it. Like Brandon Lee, if you remember Bruce Lee's kid, it was like 20 years ago this happened. And I remember it blew everybody's mind. And I was like, he was on the set of The Crow. And I'm like, how the fuck is a prop gun? How do you shoot? But that legitimately happened. He's in the middle of shooting. They're taking some pictures and they're trying to do some live shots. This is Baldwin right after it happened. And I feel fucking gutted for the guy. This is him again at the side of the road right after it happened.
Oh, wow.
This is the young lady who he shot, actually shot her. And then the bullet actually hit the director of the movie that he's working on in New Mexico. The movie's called Rust. And this poor woman died. And the director of the movie, Joel Souza, just got out of the hospital today. He got shot as well. But how the fuck does that happen? Like, I've never been on. I've been on the set of a couple of TV shows. I was in Degrassi once. I don't know, they didn't have any live guns or hanging around. But like,
is that where you met Drake the first time, or
yeah, no.
Oh, hold on.
Yeah.
Now we're getting to the bottom of the hatred.
Right.
Did he diss you on the set from his wheelchair?
No, I didn't have a scene with Drake.
Thunder.
Yeah, I was in that show when he was there too. What the fucking irony of it all? Yeah. But there were no prop guns. And if they had a prop gun, they probably wouldn't be loaded. But how the fuck does that happen? Because, and of all things, of all people for Alec to accidentally kill on the set, and it's not funny, I shouldn't be laughing, but hasn't he, like, gone to jail and been charged for punching dozens of photographers over the past, like, 20 years of his life?
So I read some things about this today. And one, the union is claiming that there was a live round left in the gun. And apparently, and I didn't know this, there are certain circumstances where film sets will use a live round. Everybody knows that there is a live round on set, and there's supposed to be safety people there because they want to get the actual live action recoil of the gun for the shot. And this was apparently possibly, now this is so new, like we don't know for sure, but one of those instances where it may have been a live round mistake there, where a prop person put the live round in. And already these fucking QAnon people are saying that Trump somehow had it
Yeah.
fucking line in to the prop people and paid somebody off to do it to make Alec Baldwin bad.
Off.
Like that's, I swear to God, that's already hitting the fucking the
Serious?
That's
yeah.
not funny. That's
Yeah.
not
So,
funny.
but the live round thing is true, and I just don't understand. Like, is it that important? Do we not know what a gun looks like when it fires, or can we not pretend? Like, we really got to put
Jimmy,
people's lives in jeopardy
this
now?
Is this how Brandon died?
Pretty
Yeah.
much,
It was a live-
it was pretty
live
much
round?
the same. But they're saying that it was a little bit more than just it might not have been a live round, because what they sometimes do to save money is they use a real bullet, they fire it off, and then they reload it with just gunpowder. And there could have been something like remnants of that within the barrel of the gun. I remember reading something similar to that dealing with Brandon.
Really, like they're gonna cheap out on a bullet rather than a blank?
Because it's more
died.
realistic. Because it's more realistic. Because
Yeah.
the actual bullet itself is a little bit bigger than a blank, so it's gives it a little bit more of the. That's just what I
Can you
read.
fucking imagine? Take Alec Baldwin out of it.
Yeah.
Can you imagine you're in a scene and your job is to point a gun and fire at somebody and you kill
And they
them?
die. Yeah.
That's
Well,
going
and
to
here's the
destroy
ironic part of
you.
this is not only the, oh, fuck, he's probably just, well, look at him, dude. He's like,
He's done. Like,
apoplectic after it happened.
you can't. How's he gonna live with himself?
You know the crazy part of this story? It gets even crazier. Back in 2017, he put this tweet out after a cop accidentally killed a dude. Quote, I wonder how it must feel to wrongly kill someone.
Oh my God.
Oh, that didn't age good.
Wow.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, that's not good.
Like, fuck. Be careful what you
You know
tweet.
now.
Be careful what you tweet,
Yeah.
kids.
Yeah.
Seriously,
What
be
you wish
careful
for.
what you fucking tweet.
Alec's
Hard to
not the
believe
most liked
on
guy in the world,
excrements.
but I wouldn't wish
Yeah.
this on anybody.
No.
Nobody.
Yeah, the
Like,
woman's
his
got a
life is
husband
ruined.
and a child. Oh yeah, yeah, and that's the thing is like you almost like if he's able to come back from this, you almost feel like he's insensitive. Like it, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
if he's got if at any point he's like, hey, listen, I got to get on with it. I know I killed a chick. It's almost like, well, how the fuck could you? Because I don't even know if I could. Like if I took someone's life by accident in that situation, I'd never act again. I'd never do a show again.
For a fucking movie.
yeah,
See, in
for
real
fucking
life-
she's dead.
In real life, you can, but now when you're in a public eye, you're right. How could you, like the perception of that would be so weird that, especially if like there was something involved with firearms, like he's going to have to come out as like an anti-gun guy now.
Did they
Photographer.
Do they put this
Yeah.
movie on ice? I think they do.
I would
think
imagine
I
that
think
they
this
have to.
project's done.
Probably not gonna happen.
Like the
Great
only
question.
way to kind of spin this, like again, this is a bad way of saying it, but for him to spin it that he's not a bad guy, if he did come back, hey, I'm doing this for her, and anything that's made from this goes to her family. That's then like, you know, he might not like it might not happen, but
Maybe.
Yeah, he tweeted that
That's-
today. He tweeted something to that effect. I don't. It's gonna take me forever to go get it, so I'm not gonna bother. But he tweeted something to the effect of like, "Yeah, that happened. There are no charges, and I'm doing everything I can to help the husband and her son and her child.
Oh
But
my
that's all I have to
God.
say. So,
Oh my God, she's a
but yeah,
mom.
could you imagine that
Fuck.
fucking phone call, dude? Sorry, fuck. And then so you got to
Fuck.
fucking find out who did it. Like you know, that's the crazy part. And then when the QAnon stuff comes in, that's when the crazy world around this whole thing kind of takes
hope
off.
all
It is like
fucking genitals rot off. All those people.
What are you eating there? What are you eating there, James? What do you got?
All right, fucking
No.
hungry, bud.
Fuck yeah.
I'm eating cold slaw from my chicken dinner. I'm sorry, I'm really
Oh.
hungry, guys. I
Nice.
didn't eat this morning. We started drinking early on the show. Like
I saw
fucking
that.
this guy brought beer, and God love him, he works at Labatt, and he brought it over, and it showed up cold. How are we not going to drink Jimmy's case of beer? Right?
Poor
Like,
Jimmy.
what are you doing?
Jimmy's face.
You can't bring cold beer to the radio station and go
and
here.
you're still drinking. I can't because you drank all my beer here too.
Oh, and
I
that's the
apologize.
worst,
Jimmy's
right? Like
upset.
when you're half in the bag and then you run out of booze because you want to keep going. Like that's the worst, Jimmy. What he just.
So anyway, I had a really good buzz on during the show this morning, so I didn't want to ruin it by eating. So I didn't eat anything this morning.
And he usually eats for the
Which
whole
is one of the many
5 hours
sides of
that we're there.
alcoholism.
You're 15 years old. I don't want to wreck my buzz by having any breakfast. Like that is
how
the
old
most
are you,
fucking
Locke?
alcoholic thing I've ever heard.
Right? And he's so proud though. Look at that shit-eating grin he's got going.
Everybody
all-
listening that has a penchant for booze knows
thought you were gonna say
exactly what
drinking
I'm talking
coffee.
about. And I got things I got to do this afternoon, so now I'm eating a bit.
Stop it. Stop it. You got more drinking to do. That's the thing. You don't want to be too
Is that what
hammered
it is?
later on
No,
today. Yes.
But he didn't.
That's why he's eating.
He didn't want to eat because he didn't want his hands to be busy, so he could always have a beer in it. Because it was my beer.
Can you imagine though? Can you imagine if he's an accountant and he has a podcast later on in the day, and one of his podcast friends is like, "So, Locke, how was work?" Good. I started having a few beers at about 6 this morning when I got to work.
Oh, it was
And then
before 6.
And we killed a whole 12-pack of Corona before 10 o'clock a.m. And by the way, I didn't have any breakfast because I want to wreck my buzz.
So
Grant,
it's what?
we
It's
had a-
2:30. It's 2:30 where you are now, right, Locke?
Yeah.
Okay, so what do you have to do for the rest? I couldn't imagine getting drunk and then undrunk and then having to operate the rest of that day without at least sleeping 6 hours in between.
You're
What do you
not
got to
allowed.
do?
Because you're not me, Ryan.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's going to
That's
take
part
the
of
dog
the
for a
best-
walk with a beer in his hand.
I got to take the dog for a walk. That's one of the many things I got to
Okay.
do.
So nothing
I got
of a
to
traveler.
I got to seem relatively sober when I go upstairs and encounter my wife this afternoon as well. So a little food will probably help in that regard. The best part of the morning this morning was because in a 12-pack with 3 guys, that would mean there's 4 people. I quickly crushed my 4 beer during the show this morning. Grant only had 3, and as we were heading out, went, "Do I get to take my 4th home?" Keep in mind, Grant's got a 12-pack in his truck, so I had a good chuckle over that.
Yeah, you
And
did.
then Grant said, "Can I have the bottles? Can I have the empties?"
Are you serious?
Mm-hmm.
Are you serious? There's like a fight over the empties?
No, he was
For
kidding.
my beer.
Yeah. We've established they drank your beer, Jimmy.
Yeah, he's upset.
Oh,
Yeah.
positive Mike, Jimmy. He'll deliver you some beer.
Yeah, Positive Mike said he'd bring over
Actually,
some
Positive
pints
Mike
later on
brings
this afternoon.
is a very good brewer. Like he's very good at what he
He
does.
does have really great beer.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, good.
Jimmy,
Well, Jimmy, listen, I don't know what the rest of the weekend has planned for you, but I hope you find some alcohol today. I hope you can swing back into that buzz that you had this morning at work. And
I
really
actually
appreciate
drank less of my beer than they did. I only had 2 because
they
I'm
drank your beer.
responsible. I don't want to be drunk on my 2 shows.
That's not true at all. They just drank your beer, and you were left with only 2. That's
yeah,
what we
you
just
would have
heard.
drank them if they were there, bro.
Yeah. Oh yeah, big time. Don't forget,
He
you're an
was trying to
alcoholic
be
too.
he was trying to be responsible. He was, but Jimmy's
I-
got a lot further to go than I do today, because he's going to go till 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning because it's Jimmy's goal to completely reverse his sleep schedule every fucking weekend. So
Yeah, I'm not a 52-year-old man that sleeps for 12 hours a weekend.
I go to bed
12
at 8.
hours a day on a
No
weekend.
problems in that out loud. Actually, I got to be on a fucking podcast tonight. I don't know why I agreed to that.
One of
Wade
ours?
wants. Oh, well, it's Wade. Is Wade on yours?
Yeah, no.
He probably will be soon. Wade's a photographer in town, and he has a Friday podcast where they just get on and bitch about shit. So,
You fit right in to that tonight. 'Cause
Yeah, it's a great podcast.
great
Wade's
fucking
good
warm
guy.
up today. No
He
one
gave you
told
a,
us the fucking truth. That's all this podcast was. It was awesome. It was Lachlan going, "Yeah, but no one told us the truth." And I'm like, do you need someone to tell you, or can you read it? And you're like, yeah, good point. You don't need someone to tell you. That's the thing, right? Anyway, guys, thanks. Lachlan Cross, 95.7 Cruise FM in Edmonton, at Lachlan Cross on Twitter. James P. White, at JP White 957 on Twitter. Bonzi Live on Twitter, at Ryan Lindley on Twitter. Ryan has a great podcast called the Sheeple Shepherd Podcast. We bring him in to be the brain. Did a great job doing it again today. Really appreciate you, Ryan.
I watched your live
Triple
one
with
last
Bonzi
night,
tonight.
Ryan. You guys, he
Yeah.
was good. He was very good.
Yeah, really good.
Yeah,
Thanks, buddy. Yeah, you know what? I noticed right at the end there we almost left without saying anything, and saw you pop in there, and we were stoked. We're like, hey, Locke's watching. This is great. So thanks for tuning in. We had a great time with it. It's our first live one, and it went really well. So
yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah.
Your wife has, like, in your relationship, I noticed who has the personality.
Yeah,
the balls.
Yeah, vanilla, and it's not you.
But thanks for coming on today,
Sorry,
too.
yeah. Hey, I'm glad I came by.
Hey, dude, this just means you're part of the crew, part of the ship. When we start shitting on you, that means you made it.
I've been waiting.
Better you than me, bro. Thanks for coming on.
Be
Ryan.
careful.
That's why I
Bonzi. He hasn't pulled the pin yet, and you've been pretty fucking quiet today.
That's true. Anyway, Sheeple Shepherd Podcast. You can get it wherever you get your fine podcasts, including at DeanBlundell.com. Follow him online as well. You're very welcome. At Ryan Lindley on Twitter. Bonzi Live, Tripping with Bonzi. Do you got a podcast tonight, too? You got a show live on the network? You got something?
Yeah,
going
Reggie Part 3, the police days, where he shot and killed his first perp. One of two.
Jesus.
He shot 3 people, killed 2. Tonight we're going to talk about the first one. And then we've also got Canadian musician and model Haley Mather on as well.
Oh, that's cool. Great. That's really cool.
Cool.
It'll be awesome.
Oh,
You bet.
sorry, really quick before we go. What a great job you did with Brent Hatley from the Howard Stern Show, by the way. What an awesome fucking show that
was good. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
appreciate
That's
that.
really
You
good,
guys
Bonzi.
all threw me some kudos, Locke, James, Ryan, your wife, everybody. And yeah, it was great. And I got some new followers after that. And it was pretty controversial. He had a lot of haters come on, and they
You
kind of
handled them well.
attacked him on my show. And yeah, thank you, man. I appreciate that. I appreciate it.
Why do people hate him?
Well, there's a couple of different reasons. They hate him because he's been popular. He's been around for 25 years. He was a big part of Bubba the Love Sponge, which is huge. Howard Stern. And then the big thing on Howard Stern, I think where he kind of got himself into trouble is bragging about the swinging all the time. And then his wife fucked some porn star named the Jackhammer. And apparently there was a thing between the Jackhammer and his wife. And he had apparently a cocaine problem. And next thing you know, he's not on the Stern Show anymore, and you can't make this.
You imagine?
His
My wife.
wife fucked a guy named the Jackhammer.
Yeah.
His wife fucked a guy named the Jackhammer. That's all you had to say. That is all you had to say, is that his life
even
took
need
a
to add the
turn
cocaine problem
when
into it. We
his
probably
wife
could have
banged a guy
introduced that
named
on
the
our own.
Jackhammer.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah,
also
it was
got,
fun.
he's got some controversy out there. Apparently, he's been charging subscribers for live shows he hasn't put out in months, and a lot of people are really fucking mad about it. So he needs to start putting some content out again,
They pay.
because he actually has a great show when he does his show. It's amazing.
Why don't we
He's
bring
taking
him
a
onto
bit
the
of a
network?
hiatus.
Yeah, dude, you would love him. I'd love to put him in contact with you. He is gold content. He's got him and his wife, and she comes on there and acts all sexy, and they've got a great show together. So yeah, you should talk to him.
Yeah, bring him on. No, you talk to him. You're the American. You're in charge of the
While
U.S.
we're at it, let's
I
get
got
the
you.
Jackhammer on too.
Yeah, I want to talk to him too. I want to find out what it was like to destroy a man. Could you imagine coming back from that, coming home and finding out your wife just got pounded by a guy named the Jackhammer?
Yeah.
He says he's okay with it. He was there when it happened. When he got,
he was in the
when-
corner. Yeah, he's a watcher.
No.
Did you
And
watch
then-
it?
He was
Yeah,
was
we
under
there.
a
He was
sheet
with
in
a
the corner.
But I think part of the story is that she may or may not have allegedly had a tryst with him when he was in LA with the Stern Show. She was back home, and she may have been with him privately, which he didn't like.
Oh.
And that's when they started making fun of him and stuff on the
you
Stern
have
Show.
to-
Listen, honey, I am 100% okay with you fucking the
What are you gonna watch?
Jackhammer when I'm in the room.
Yeah.
But
That's how
when
some of them
you
are,
do
dude.
it when I'm
That's a
not
swinger life.
around, that's when
That's a problem.
you know what? That's a problem.
Yes.
I'm going to
Yeah.
take issue with that.
That's
You
how
have
they
to
Holy
roll, dude.
shit.
You have to
I
Google
just
those
had fried
things.
chicken.
Dude, I think those are the rules of swinging, though. I think it's like
That
you
is.
can do it. Like you would know that, Bonzi. Like you and
Yeah.
your ex could go and bone.
Dean,
But you
Dean.
hang on. No, listen, I know it's common sense, and I'm not operating in that realm right now. Okay. I'm just having a conversation with Bonzi. Okay. I get it. I know what you're going to
Okay.
say.
Thank
You're going to
you
say
for
location,
clarifying.
location,
I'm just
location.
having
And
a
it doesn't
conversation
matter.
with Bonzi.
Yeah. I don't. You know how I talk to
Interesting.
Bonzi? I take common sense and accountability and I throw it out the window and we open up the
Aw, come
universe.
on.
It's super easy. No, seriously, that's how I have to talk to some
I
people,
knew what a
including you.
placebo was the other day, motherfucker.
Yeah, you
so
did. I
you
know
got
you
to give
did.
me a bit of credibility.
But listen, here's the thing: is that when it comes to swinging, my understanding is that you, which is stupid, but like you can bang anyone you want as long as the other person A, either knows about it, or B, is around to watch you get cucked. Is that correct?
Well, it's not cucked. It's you switch partners, or you're with your partner, and then all of a sudden you kind of trade partners, and that's how it goes.
Are you saying
When
that he had
one
to fuck
of the
Jackhammer
other is
too?
not there, that's cheating. That what did I miss what you said? I missed it. What'd you say, you smart ass?
Well, now you're done with me, Jack. You gotta get the boy. All right.
You got enough
You know
left in
what?
the tank?
I'm okay with only having had the most exciting thing that's happened to me this week is I had Church's chicken, and I am going to be fine with that tonight. Tonight, after this conversation,
Yeah.
I didn't get fucked by Jackhammer. I had a great week.
That's good.
And he took your beer.
Have a great weekend,
Jesus.
everybody.
Oh, what a way to finish.
So talk to Brett Hatley and tell
I will.
him I'm very interested in his program. Now I'm
Okay.
super interested in his story too. I want to also have him on the show, which means now I'm stealing your shit, which is,
Here we
pretty
go.
much fair play.
It had to happen, Dean.
Here we go.
'Cause I am fascinated by
Toot,
guy
toot. Full circle for
who's-
Bonzi.
whose wife, whose life took a left turn when the woman he was married to had sex with a guy named the Jackhammer, and the only reason why it was bad is because he didn't know about it.
And
That's
you
an
also
incredible
want Jackhammer on the show too.
Big time, yeah,
Well, that-
James. You hit
All
There's a funny-
one
there's a
happy
fun-
little podcast.
There's
Ladies
a
and
funny part
gentlemen,
to this.
And now here's
Google-
Jackhammer.
Google the two of them.
These are the days of our lives. Holy motherfucker.
You're
do we
welcome.
live
And his
in a
name
weird
had
world.
to be the Jackhammer too. It couldn't have been like
Yeah.
Curtis or something, right?
There's Bonzi, you need to be around for that one too, please.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
begging.
Oh, I hope to be invited.
Just so that you
know,
can
kinda
sort
made
out
it
any
happen.
problems we might have with some of the hypocrisy of it all, right?
Terminology.
Yeah.
Dear.
Because it all seems quite hypocritical, if you ask us.
Bonzi Live
Because-
tonight at 9.
all right. But if it's going to be anything
He's
like
going
last
from
show,
a
I'll be
guy that
watching.
shot someone to a model. There you go. But you're the one who did the tease.
Yeah.
I'm just repeating
Yeah.
it.
Hey,
We got a guy that
stay
shot a
tuned.
couple of people, and then we're going to talk to a fucking famous Canadian
We're
model.
we're
That's
gonna
our show
pivot-
tonight.
pivot to a model.
I hope you have
I'm
Reggie,
afraid.
the shooter, on first.
Yeah, me
he
too.
is
because-
on first. Yeah.
all right, good, because that's the stuff. Like, if you want good content, you got to talk
Yeah.
to someone.
I
that
gotta
shot
go.
people.
I
All
have
right, me
been
too. I
very
gotta
annoying
piss.
on this podcast today. I
No, you've
fucking
been great.
apologize.
Thanks a
Okay.
lot.
guys.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate everybody.
Have a great
James
weekend,
P. White,
everybody.
Lachlan Cross. Thanks, buddy. Thanks, Rhino. That's Ryan from the Sheeple Shepherd podcast.
Thanks,
Jimmy
Dean.
from the Jedi Jimmy podcast coming soon to DeanBlundell.com. And of course, Bonzi. Thanks, buddy. Love you. Be safe.
Yeah, you bet.
Talk to you soon. All right. See, we love each other here. Yeah, we bust each other's balls. Whatever. Right? It's the fun of life. Take yourself seriously. Die a slow death. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being part of the show, everybody. Really appreciate it. Thanks to our friends over at Easy Auto Financial. Easy Auto Financial, where you go to get a car and all the financing that you need for that car. Doesn't cost you a dime, no obligation. EasyAutoFinancial.ca. Check them out today. They do everything for you, so you don't have to do any of the crap work when it comes to buying a car, including getting your financing. And again, it's free to get that financing from Easy Auto Financial.ca. Blue Microphones at Blue Microphones. At Blue Microphones on Twitter. BlueMic.com. Check them out. They've got a ton of stuff for gamers, podcasters, streamers, and more, including the Logitech cameras, Logitech group of companies. They've got every level, 3, 4, 5. They got all the levels of cameras, everything that you want, HD, 5K, this K, that K. Bottle cap mics. They've got these Spark mics, including these USB mics. They've got these Blue Yeti mics, the Yeti X, which is incredible, preamps, They have everything. Go to bluemike.com for more information. Also, thanks to our friends at domination.com. It's AI for people that produce content. Try them for free today at dmntn.com. Again, dmntn.com. We use them to produce content. You can do the same. Save you hours a day, literally hours a day. So try them for free at dmntn.com. And last but not least, hi to our friends at Ed's Fine Imports. He sells Gitch, his own branded luxury underwear. It's huge brand, massive. Maybe the biggest Canadian underwear brand on the planet, and they're made right here in Canada, and they're a Canadian idea, and he's a Canadian dude. And so what you do is you go to edsfineimports.com, use promo code GITCH3, GITCH, then the number 3, you pump that into your promo code area on the front website when you order clothes, and they'll send you a free pair of underwear. GITCH3 is your promo code. Clothing for men and boys, edsfineimports.com. Have a great day. Great Friday, everybody. I'm out of here. Sign up for a newsletter, deanblundell.com if you think about it, and we'll see you on Monday. Thanks.